Hello, hola, welcome back to Rena MoMoney Plus videos. I'm Rena MoMoney, and today we're going to talk about how to purchase your first rental property. Yes, real estate investing 101 in purchasing your first rental property. So today we will go over some of the secrets in buying your first rental property, Investing 101. We'll also go over the 8 pertinent steps to purchase your first rental property. Again, I want to show you how to do this and avoid some of the mistakes that I made. So come on in. Remember I said on this channel we'll talk about real estate, wholesaling, investing, and just becoming a better you? Well, today we're going to dive a little deeper and we're going to start talking about rental properties. And I know the question often is, how do I purchase my first rental property? What are some of the steps? I want to make sure that I cover everything. Step 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, today there's 8 pertinent steps that I want to go over with you. I'm pretty sure when you started and you thought about making real estate investing a side hustle, or you thought about just starting to invest in real estate, I'm pretty sure you probably started in wholesaling, or perhaps you probably started straight into rentals and jumped right in like I did. The benefits of being a real estate investor, again, is grand. It is absolutely grand. And I always tell people, I always tell wholesalers especially, it's okay to wholesale. You can make a nice 6-figure income, even millions of dollars wholesaling. But always look farther and look at the wealth and obtain you some passive income. And one of the best passive income in real estate investing is to own some rental properties. I say you need to own at least 3. If you're not into being a landlord and having 10 and 15 and 35 and 135 properties, it's okay, but you want to own at least 3 so that you can add to your wealth and be on your way to that wealth, especially as you're on your way to getting off the job or trying to ease out of doing the wholesaling. Wholesaling is great. I don't do as much wholesaling as I used to, but when I do come across a property or I'm overwhelmed with properties, I will wholesale it. And that's okay. You can make 6 figures just wholesale it. That's one of the best side hustles, and we talked about it. But to invest in rental properties is truly passive income. And we're going to go over that, and I'm going to show you how. You want to get in the mindset of investing as you grow. So as you wholesale, as you fix and flip, as you start getting rentals, as you start and we'll talk about that, as you start doing these things and really truly investing in real estate and obtaining this wealth, you want to make sure that you're setting it up the right way. What I did was I jumped right in. I started real estate in 2003 and I kind of jumped right in. I went and got a hard money loan. It's a long story, but had some bumps and bruises on the way. Again, I've been in real estate since 2003, so I have some knowledge and I have some experience, and I want to share that and kind of help save you from making those mistakes. One of the things I wish I would have done first was to set up my business. So I'm going to tell you, the very first thing you want to do is set up your business, set up your LLC, set up your business, set up your corporation, whatever entity that's best for you and your situation. Most investors set up LLCs, so which is limited liability corporation, LLC. You want to set up your LLC first. So set up that business, get your name, make sure that name is okay. Start there if you haven't already, because most of you already have a business set up when you were wholesaling. So if you've already gotten your LLC together and you've already set up your business, fine. Let's move to the next step. Okay, so I hope you have your pen and your pad or have something that you could take notes. Remember to stay organized. You want to put it, you can write it down, then redo it and put it in a database so you can have a backup and you can go back and look at it. The very first step 1 to purchasing or buying your first rental property is, number 1, location. I'll say it again, location, location, location. Location is key. Remember, it's an investment and you want your investment to grow. You want your investment to have value. So one of the things you want to look at is crime, your crime in that location. Now, some people invest in crime location. I actually have some rentals in crime locations, and I'll tell you how to handle that and the best way to take care of that if you do. Because if those numbers are right, if those numbers are really good and it outweighs what's going on, as long as it's not the drug infested area or straight right sitting at the crack house right across the street or the trap house next door, as long as it's not that type of situation, you can make money off real estate properties or rentals that are in a low area or in a low income area, poverty area, or crime area. You can just make sure that you're not directly straight into the area. But if you want to maximize your money and you want to really make your investment count, you definitely want to pay attention to one location. As you're researching that location, you want to find out if that area is growing, if that area is developing, if they're bringing a mall in, if they're bringing a Walmart in, if they're bringing more new construction homes in. If that's so, that means that's a developing area, a sign of a great location. Also, if you've moved a little farther and you're starting to, or you're ready to invest outside of your backyard, because remember I said start in your backyard. That way you know the areas, you know the streets, you know what's coming, you know what's going, you know what's on the news, you know what the city councils are talking about. You will have a great idea of what's happening, what took a long time, what's the rent rate in that area. So start in your backyard. But if you decide not to start in your backyard, if you get a deal that comes across and it's not in your backyard, remember I said backyard is in your county or right next door to the next city, but you want to start in your county. If you don't start in your county, or if you're at the point you got a deal and it's in another area, then you want to make sure that that city is landlord friendly. What I mean by landlord friendly, that if you get an eviction or you need to do an eviction, it won't take 4 months or 3 months or 2 months for that matter. I'm in a county that our evictions work pretty fast. Once you file and you go to the second step and the third step, it's pretty fast. So I'm somewhat in a landlord friendly city. So make sure that you're in a landlord friendly city, that you can get evictions done if you need to. The permits are not extremely hard to get or take a long time. You need to make sure that there's not a lot of restrictions on building if you're going to get into construction and then rent out. There's so many avenues in this rental. So I'm trying to cover it all. But the very first thing we're talking about is the location. So number one in buying your first rental is location. You want to search all those things out. The second important step in buying your first rental property, which is your investment, is the finances. So first is the location. That's number one key. That's where you'll start. The second is the financials. What I mean by that, you'll take how much you'll be able to make a month. Okay, let's say that rent is $1,400 or whatever the rent is a month. Make sure you minus out the taxes, the insurance, the maintenance. If you're a beginner, you're probably going to do your own property management. If not, you probably need to look at property management. So if you are going to purchase a property in another city, then you need to look at property management and the fees of the property management. So in looking at that, you have property management fees, maintenance fees, vacant. If the property comes vacant within that 12 months, you need to put a percentage out for that. What I usually do when I'm looking at financials, I'll take the amount of money that I'm going to make a month in rent. Then you subtract out all expenses. Don't forget to also account whether or not if you purchase it with a loan, because if you purchased it with a loan, now you have that loan mortgage payment that needs to come out of that rent amount as well. You want to minus out all your expenses and then see how much that bottom dollar is. That's how you'll find out your financial. So be sure to look at all your numbers. Be sure to include all the factors when you're talking about the finance. I may have left off one or two things, but that's probably about 90% of what you need to look at when you're looking at the financial end of that particular property. The third step you want to do is to negotiate the contract. You want to negotiate the contract. So you found this motivated seller, they're ready to sell, you negotiate the contract. So as you're negotiating the contract with that motivated seller, you're going to look at all of the things that's needed. You want to look at middle range homes. You want to look at beat up homes, distressed homes, homes that need a little bit of work because you can get a better deal. Mainly you're looking to get deeply discounted properties, but as long as it's discounted and you use your formula and you're within those numbers, then you probably got a good deal. 9 times out of 10, you can determine that yourself, and you can also see just how motivated that seller is. Always try to negotiate the contract. You want to negotiate the contract because right now in 2021, this is May 2021, this is a seller's market. So the price of the homes are going up. The value of the homes are going up. The buying price is also going up because it's a seller's market. So number one is location. Number two was finance, the financials of that particular property, the finance end, the money, the expenses, the net, the return on investment. Number three was to negotiate the contract. Remember, this is a seller's market, so you want to negotiate. That's a part of getting that first rental. And number four is inspection. With the inspection, you could do a private inspector to go out. First, you're going to already do your inspection. So you definitely want to start understanding and learning exactly what to look for. Have you a checklist on things that will cost you money. And in your inspection, with your own personal inspection, you'll start out by looking at the mechanicals, the plumbing, the AC, the roof, things of that nature that cost you a lot of money. But you definitely want to, if it's your first rental property, you want to get a private inspector, someone that knows what they're doing. It's a couple $100 and it'll be worth it because he'll tell you about the roof. He'll tell you if the house is about to fall down, if it's being eaten up by termites, if the beams are not right, or if there's something wrong, or the house is shaky, shade is not sturdy, because you want to solid home. This is your investment. And if it's your first rental property, you definitely want to be in and out every month, or the tenant calling you every other month in reference to repairs. So you want a good solid investment. So have that inspection done. It's well worth it. Private inspector costs you about $200-300. Have that done. That private inspector that you hire will send you a report and he will tell you everything. Then it'll be up to you. Also, simultaneously, while you're having an inspection done, you want to call the city also to see if there's any running fines. Make sure there's no running fines, because ultimately you'll be responsible for paying any fines. So beware of that. Be careful. Check that. That's a part of your due diligence before you purchase the home. Before I move on to step 5 of the 8 critical steps, or the 8 steps that you need to take to buy your first rental property, I want to give a few shout outs. I want to give a few shout outs to some subscribers that have taken the time out to watch videos, comment, and subscribe. So if you haven't subscribed already, go ahead and subscribe, because I randomly mention subscribers on the next Rena MoMoney video. So moving right along, I want to give a shout out to Angel Johnson. I want to give a shout out to Jen, Aaliyah E.T., and Richard Stawinski. I might be pronouncing your name wrong, but I appreciate you, Richard Stawinski. So thank you again. Thank y'all. Thank yourself. Be proud of yourself, because you've taken that time out to subscribe to Rena MoMoney Plus videos. And if you continue to watch other videos, it will definitely make a difference in your financial. It will definitely make a difference in your bottom line, in your real estate. So if you haven't already, smash that subscribe button. Please do so. It helps out the channel. Moving right back into the lesson, let's go. Okay, the next step is to get the cash, or get the money to buy the property. Some folk may put this first, some folk may put this second, some folk may put this third. Regardless, it's going to be important to make sure that you get the cash. There's so many ways that you can get the money for this. You can do seller finance. If the property is free and clear with the seller, you can do lease options. You can do a subject to. You can go get a loan. You can get an FHA loan, a conventional loan. You can get a hard money loan. These are some of the things that you can do. So if you have good credit, I can have some videos in reference to if you have bad credit, what you can do to obtain properties. I have information if you have no money, what you can do to obtain property. If you need that walkthrough, then you need to schedule a coaching call. Look down in the description below. You will see a link where you can schedule a coaching call one-on-one with me. I'll be more than happy to help you out and take you step by step to make sure that you do everything properly and you will not make any mistakes. So after you get that cash, after you get that money, after you've determined and you've gotten that part together, which is the money to buy the property, again, you have different sources, different ways that you can purchase the property. And keep in mind, one of your goals is to be able to get business credit so that you don't have to purchase these properties in your personal name. There's a way you can do that as well. If you're already there and you already know you have your business credit and you're ready to roll, give me schedule a coaching call if you need to. Because ultimately you want to start purchasing these properties in your business to protect yourself. It'll stop some of the liabilities. There's a lot of great benefits in purchasing it in your LLC or your trust. And it depends on where you are, what state you're in, the name of the trust or what it's called, and the protection that it allows for you. And that takes me to number 6. Understanding the legal end of it. You definitely want to move away from trying to put it in your personal name. You definitely want to try to start out putting it in the LLC. Try not to put everything in your name, because you're supposed to control everything and own nothing. Wise man said that. Control everything and own nothing. If you do this, it will protect you from lawsuits. And one thing about it, I hate to say it, but as a landlord, you will get sued, regardless of how small that lawsuit is or how big it is. Somebody may say they failed. You will get sued. You will get sued. There's no way around that. It's not if you get sued, it's when you get sued. So start out the business properly. Start out correctly by putting it in an LLC or putting it in a trust, because that protects you. You want to protect your assets. You want to protect yourself. You want to protect your family, and you do that by setting up your business correctly. With that, investing in real estate properties legal end, you need to find out, you need to have insurance. You need to put your insurance policy on your properties as well. Moving on to step 7. Step 7 is renovations. When you get ready to do your renovations on your rentals, it's just that. It's a rental. It's not a house that you're going to live in. It's not a house that you're about to sell. So you don't need to get the top of the line materials, but you do need to get materials that's sturdy enough, that has enough quality in it that it will last you. Because remember, I said you don't want to go in and out every other month fixing stuff, because your profit will be going down the drain. So you want to start your renovation. And with renovation, you have already found out everything that was needed, because you did that in your property analysis before you determined that you was going to buy it, when you was doing the financials to make sure that the numbers work. So keep in mind, you want to use materials that will last, but it doesn't have to be the top of the line, because you're not going to live in it, but it needs to be livable, and you want it nice because you want your tenants to still be happy. After renovations, you're going to rent the property. This is when you're starting to make money. That's when that passive income comes in, because remember, it was an ROI after all your expenses, and you want to rent the property. You can do this yourself by putting out ads and putting it on Zillow. Remember, I said Zillow.com has a rental management CRM. You can post everything yourself. But if this is your first one, then you take the time out and save yourself money. You can also, it depends. If it's in another city, your property manager will take care of all that. So if you already have it allocated for a property manager, they will take care of everything. So you can rent it out yourself, or you can take time out and hire a property manager. Again, I recommend, if it's your first one, to rent it out yourself. Get a feel, understand that. If you don't want to deal with tenants from the jump, if you're still on that job and you basically truly just want this to be all passive, then you get that property manager. So hopefully these steps was good for you. Hopefully it taught you something. Hopefully it got you revved up to get started and purchase that first rental. Don't be scared. Just do it. Jump out there. If you need that help, schedule that coaching call. Hope this video was helpful. Make sure you stay tuned for the next video. Again, we're going to be jam-packed with real estate investing, tips and tools, showing you how to make money, how to save money, giving you some how-tos and some step-by-step. So you just had it here. Investing in Real Estate 101, how to buy that first rental.